CHAMPS Live is presented by Lawrence Technological University, where Blue Devils dare. Hungry Howie's, famous for flavor. And the Detroit Medical Center. Do you have a sports injury or are just looking to take your game to the next level? Go where the pros go. Visit dmc.org/gamechangers. Hi, everyone. Welcome to, among other things, National Decency Day. So be kind to each other this rainy Thursday, and welcome to episode 32 of State Champs Live, presented by Lawrence Tech. Lawrence Technological University was born 85 years ago in the middle of an innovation explosion that would change the world. None other than Henry and Edsel Ford helped launch the revolutionary experiment that would become LTU, providing guidance and space in their sprawling former Model T assembly plant for the school. Lawrence Tech is about theory and practice, taking abstract ideas into the real world to solve tomorrow's problems. LTU's reputation comes from as much as what they're doing now as it does from their storied past. Take a virtual tour at ltu.edu. We are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. My name is Lauren Plant, and we are joined by two former Michigan high school girls basketball players. They are sisters, and both have had very interesting journeys since their time in the Mitten. But first, let's check out the headlines for Thursday, May 14th. Busy day for the NCAA. Spurred by the recommendation of several coaching associations, on Thursday, the NCAA extended the summer recruiting dead period for a second time, moving it from May 31st to June 30th. It originally ran through April 15th. The NCAA also canceled the College Basketball Academy, which would have brought nearly 1,600 high school athletes in the next 3 graduating classes to 4 regional sites at the end of July for the purposes of evaluation by college coaches, but says it is committed to its return in 2021. The deadline for players to withdraw from the NBA draft also will be pushed back from its current date of June 3rd. The USPBL eyeing a June return. The United Shore Professional Baseball League may have missed its original opening day last week, settling for a virtual event, but is now eyeing a return to the field in early June. The 5-year-old league, with 4 teams that play out of Utica's Jimmy John's Field, has a plan in place to open in front of limited spectators as early as June 10th. Belleville's pipeline keeps flowing. With Belleville wideout Deion Burks committing to Purdue on Wednesday, it was the first domino to fall in the Tigers' prospect-studded 2021 class, which could finish with 5 D1 signees. A 5'11", 175-pound speedster, Burks committed to the Boilermakers over 17 other offers, giving the Tigers a 10th Division I commit over the last 3 recruiting classes. Purdue grabbed 5 highly ranked Michigan products last year, including Oak Park's Malik Carr and Walled Lake Western's Abdul Rahman Yassin. Well, all right, those are the headlines. Let's get to today's Hungry Howie's Twitter question of the day. Would you be willing to attend a football game in the fall? Just try and stop me, only with limited spectators, or I will just watch on TV. Find State Champs Michigan on Twitter, and please vote for today's question of the day. We'll read the results tomorrow. Okay, today on Live, we are joined by a pair of Michigan high school former Michigan high school girls hoopsters. They played their ball at New Boston Huron High School. We featured each of them several times throughout their high school career on State Champs between 2009 and 2012. We're catching up with both of them today on Live. They are masked marauders on this show. We welcome McKenzie and Kiara Kudron to the show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having us. Lauren, thanks for having us.
Okay. We can hear you, so that's good. All right. I want to start and first off say those balloons in the background mean happy birthday to McKenzie. You turned 28 on Monday, right?
Yep. Getting old.
What does that say about me? Okay. You both played together for a few years at New Boston Huron. You were both volleyball and basketball players for the Chiefs. It's been a decade now since the two of you really played together. McKenzie, I'll ask you first, what was the best part of sharing your high school sports experience with your sister?
It was honestly the best. It was so great getting to, build our relationship even closer. Like we've always been close, but it was so nice to be able to share those experiences. We were both so competitive. It was really great to be able to push each other. Um, yeah, I think that was probably my favorite part. Just our relationship got a lot closer through that.
Hey, Kiera, I know the both of you always get a kick about watching the highlights or the features we did on State Champs. In fact, I was particularly happy that we got Mackenzie to admit that she truly was a blockaholic. That was an important breakthrough, I felt. But seriously, you both went on to play college basketball. You are still playing overseas, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But you guys played with a lot of the same players growing up most of your life. Looking back now, how special was the bond the entire team shared both on and off the high school court?
Yeah, I played with some girls since I think probably first grade or so. So being able to go, first through eighth grade and then transfer that over into high school for those extra 4 years, it was super special, and especially when you have that last game together. Sorry, I'm like watching the highlights as well.
I know,
When you
I
have
know.
that last game together, it's just super special because you get to put it all together, from like that first game in first grade all the way to your senior year of high school, and it was just really special. The bond grows stronger and stronger, and then you just get to know each other more.
Now, Kiera, I know that you debunked this idea when we talked last night, but I remember the idea was floated out there that you had considered trying to play with the boys' team your senior season. Now, we had never seen that before, even to this day. And maybe this was just a conversation we had with your father. I know he's watching. Because we at State Champs were making plans to document that journey. Had you actually tried to go through with it, but you're saying really you were never going to leave the girls' team.
No, that was probably definitely my dad talking. He always said that I could play with the boys, and I know I could. But like we just talked about, I think having that special bond with your girls all for 12. I especially wouldn't my last year. Maybe if it was my freshman, sophomore, junior year, maybe. But no, that was just some free talk.
Right, exactly. Now, probably what spurred that is before you used to have the fall girls basketball season and the winter boys basketball season, but you would have missed volleyball in that case. But let's move on to college. Mackenzie, you had quite the journey, and I'm just going to summarize it quickly. Off to Vermont, stress fracture your freshman year. Several reasons why, but you decided to transfer to Hofstra, dealt with the same injury over the next 3 years, went to grad school back home here at Wayne State, tried to finish your basketball career, another stress fracture. In fact, I know you're dealing with that same injury even today. Talk about what you learned about yourself, trying to come back again and again and dealing with disappointment that your body just wouldn't let you.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I learned through that was just adversity. I learned, I had basketball my whole life pretty much. So learning that basketball wasn't the only important thing in my life was really important. Also, got the opportunity to learn a lot about the game of basketball and learning more, the background stuff of it, and not just how to play it, but how to understand. I got to do it with my coaches, watched a lot of film. So doing that, learning more about the game, it kind of made me fall back in love with it in a different type of way. Also, I learned that there's more to me than just sports. I really put my head down, did a lot of studying, did well in school, and then which has led me now into my career that I'm in now, which is nursing.
Yep, and we're going to talk about that. Now, Kiera, you went west, played your entire career with Gonzaga. Thankfully, you did not have the same injury issues Mackenzie went through. Zags are a big-time college program. What was that experience like for you?
Honestly, there will never be anything like it. Every time I stepped out on the court, I got chills through my whole body, going through that tunnel, and again, you form a special bond, and it's like it's a family. I absolutely loved it. I would highly recommend even going there, without playing sports. It's a fantastic school.
Fantastic. Now, since that time, you've been given the opportunity to play in Europe. You've played in Madrid, Spain, and Luxembourg. What is the women's professional circuit like in Europe, and how is it different from, say, the WNBA?
Honestly, it kind of where you go. I played Division 2 in Spain my first year and this past year, and then I played Division 1 in Luxembourg. The caliber is definitely up there, but I wouldn't say that it is anywhere near the WNBA level unless you get to that first division in Hungary and in Turkey or first division Spain, Italy. Um, so the basketball is great, and I've grown a lot from it. But the WNBA is the best of the best. So
Gotcha, gotcha. But you get to obviously travel the world as well. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic has obviously shut everything down. Do you plan to return to Europe or elsewhere when everything gets back going again?
I'm not 100% sure at the moment. I've kind of been going back and forth. I really want to train people, and I've been studying for my strength and conditioning coach certification, and I just started studying for a group fitness instructor certification. So it's kind of all up in the air right now. My coach from last year actually just texted me and said that they're only allowing one professional on the team in Spain. He said he's always been a Kiara fan, so I am his number one, which made me kind of happy. But we'll kind of just see what happens with the whole pandemic and everything.
Right. And just because I think it got clipped there, you meant there's one American that we're going to be allowed to play on your team.
Yep. Normally there's two, but I think they
Got
just
it.
announced that they're allowing one.
Okay. Well, if you have any questions or comments for either Mackenzie or Kiara, now's the time to ask on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. We'll get to them in just a couple of minutes. Now, Mackenzie, despite your injuries, you were blessed to get a great education from your college experience. You are a registered nurse with Children's Hospital in Detroit. I know you love what you do. This is your calling. It's truly, truly heroic work, and it takes a special kind of person to bring that compassionate care to very sick children. I'm sure you think of them as your own. This pandemic has even brought upon a new children's-based illness that you're all dealing with now. Talk about why you are absolutely where you want to be and how you deal with it, both professionally and emotionally.
Yeah, I always knew that I wanted to work with kids. I've always loved working with children. They just have a dip of attitude and resilience to them that even when these kids are super sick in the hospital, they still are just so sweet. Have like this purity about them that is just unmatched that you see in adults. Being able to care for them in their most, vulnerable state is truly a privilege. We do fall in love with these kids, which really does make it hard sometimes, but it's good work that we do, and it really helps us grow. We not only are learning constantly on our job because we see so many different types of illnesses and injuries that come onto our floor, but we also just get to experience different cultures, different families, different values. So it helps us grow as people. It's definitely helped me grow. I've been there a little over a year, and the amount of things that I've learned in this past year is just astronomical. I never thought that I would have learned as much as I have. So yeah, I would just say that the kids really make it all worth it. The good definitely outweighs the bad in my job. And I have a really good support system to come home to. My family's always been great. My boyfriend's super sweet when I come home if I've had a bad day. So it's nice to have people I can talk when I've had super stressful days. But overall, I love my job and I wouldn't change it.
Awesome. Well, we always say it about the servicemen, and absolutely, when we say we thank you for your service to our armed forces personnel, but we definitely thank you for your service because, again, it's, as I've said on a few occasions, it's the Lord's work, and we appreciate it very much. Now, Kiara, you told me last night that you had originally planned to want to play your college ball alongside your sister, but it was Mackenzie who said that really you should chart your own course. I think it really talks about the love that the two of you have for each other. So what does it mean to get to spend time with Mackenzie and your family now, a time that otherwise you wouldn't really have?
Spending time with the family has been it has its ups and downs. This is the first time I've been home longer than a month. A month was the longest I was home in college. So this is definitely the longest I'm going to be home with them. It's going to be about 5.5 months if I plan to go overseas. But my parents actually, they moved in to a new condo, so I've been spending a lot of time with my 89-year-old grandma. Shout out, Nene. Love you so much.
Nice.
And yeah, Mackenzie, I don't get to spend a lot of time with her because if she has a COVID patient, then we have to do the whole 2-week quarantine thing where we can't see each other. So I think this might be only my second time I've seen her since I've been home, which is really unfortunate because we have one more older sister who I would love to spend more time with as well, but she's a nurse at a nursing home. So that's a little tough. I wish, I'm home for 5 months, so I wish I could see both my sisters more, but it is what it is right now, and we got to stay safe.
That's right. Absolutely. Now, we're going to be getting your questions next for the Kudrons. But first, let's check out a little of the both of them as it aired on State Champs 8 and 11 years ago. Did you catch the last stat he gave? She needed to come clean with her addiction, and she did.
My name is McKenzie Kudron, and I'm a blockaholic.
As of Thursday, she had 142 blocked shots, which is already the 10th most in a season in MHSAA history. Her 17 in a single game versus Monroe Jefferson tied for 4th best. What's the secret?
I'm just really tall, and I put my arms up, and people come in who are really small. Probably shouldn't be coming in on me. So when they shoot, I just block it. I don't know.
I think it's sweet, and the crowd loves it.
It is indeed a thrill to come to New Boston and Huron High School to hand out this week's Wendy's Student Athlete of the Week to Mackenzie Kudron. But let's face it, to truly take the next step as a program, it helps when you've got a go-to game changer. And they do. 6'1" senior Kiara Kudron.
She just gets this look where, I'm ready and just let me have the ball and then you'll know. Give it to her because she'll make it.
Class B All-Stater for 2 straight years. This season, Kiara is averaging 21 points a game, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. Recently signed to play at Gonzaga, admittedly in the early going this season, she felt the pressure of the spotlight.
This year it's been a lot harder because everybody in the crowd is like, who's Kiara Kudron? She's going to Gonzaga, so I have a lot of eyes on me. The coaches expect a lot from me, my teammates. So it was hard in the beginning. I put a lot on me.
If they do make a run, remember, you heard it here first. This week in State Champs history is presented by Lawrence Tech Athletics. Recruit yourself at ltuathletics.com.
And I don't know if you caught it in there, but Kiara says Kudron, and Mackenzie, and I think most of our family say Kudron, so that has been a constant kind of back and forth between them. But that's always fun to look back on that kind of stuff. So, all right, well, let's get to if there's any questions or comments for former New Boston Huron hoop stars Kiara and Mackenzie Kudron. So we're getting lots of comments. Rick Dorn is definitely sending quite a few here. All right, we get to see them. This is exciting. I have a pupil for you, Rick Dorn says. Let's see. This is like a Huron Hall of Fame meeting. Very fortunate to have taught you both. Mark Gagne says that. All right. So this looks like congratulations. Great to see you. Love the masks, all of that. So that's kind of the comments that are going right now. But I really want to thank Mackenzie and Kiara Kudron for coming on live today. It's always fun when we get to kind of relive a little of, what our former basketball stars or any sports stars have done and what you guys are doing today. I appreciate you taking the time to come together and be able to be safe at the same time. And again, congratulations on everything you've done. Congratulations on everything you are both going to do moving forward. I do have a feeling that one day, just one day, maybe back here in some high school gym, we might just walk in with State Champs camera to meet the new coaches for a particular basketball team, and it just might be the
Yeah.
you. Okay, so we'll see if
Thank you
that
so
happens.
much.
But
This
again,
was great catching up.
okay, thanks again. All right, you guys take care.
Thank you.
All right, that's it. We appreciate them. Let's take a look at today's clip of the day, if there is one. All right, so that's great. This is a fantastic opportunity for you athletes out there just to kind of go through some drills, show your feet, your foot mechanics, your throwing motion, your whip, all of that. And again, it can be seen by potential college coaches. And so those are smarts. Keep sending those clips to us, and we'll put them up not only here on the show, but all of our social media platforms. Do you know the definition of what can be called an overuse injury? Most likely exactly what McKenzie Kudron continues to deal with. Check out this brief DMC Game Changers clip.
Some of the signs that you may have an overuse injury is lack of enthusiasm or motivation towards your sport, chronic pain, fatigue, loss of appetite, or an increase in the number of small injuries.
So you can watch the full 2-minute video, learn more about overuse injuries and how the DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine team can help you. You can find all of our Game Changer segments by downloading our free State Champs Sports app or at our website, statechampsnetwork.com, or any of our social media channels, including the convenient playlist we put together on the State Champs TV YouTube page. Let's check out the results of yesterday's Hungry Howie's Twitter question of the day. Which professional league will be the first to play another game? You guys all believe it will be Major League Baseball. So, all right, we'll see. Very possible. Tomorrow on Live, she's been a Michigan high school swimming state record holder, athlete of the year, and multiple Olympic champion. Allison Schmitt from Arizona joins us tomorrow at 2 p.m. And if you know of a guest or a topic that we should talk about or talk to here on Live, please email our show coordinator, Amanda. Her email address is amanda@yellowflagproductions.com. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you back here Friday for another episode of State Champs Live.
Right now, we are all longing for the roar of a crowd, the excitement of a stadium filled with cheering fans, and the ecstasy of celebrating a hard-fought victory. Right now, we're all on the same team, and we must do our part to make sure as many students, athletes, coaches, teachers, parents, and loved ones are there when we have the luxury to resume our rivalries and start rooting for our teams once again. Stay home and stay safe.
State Champs Live is presented by Lawrence Technological University, where Blue Devils dare, Hungry Howie's, famous for flavor, and the Detroit Medical Center. Do you have a sports injury or are just looking to take your game to the next level? Go where the pros go. Visit dmc.org/gamechangers.